Good evening, everybody. This is Dialest, whom you can call Jeffrey, because that's what they do down at the DMV. And I am here today to present you with another command line program. It runs in Node in the terminal of your choice. It is a word guess game, basically Hangman, but without all that hanging or all that man. Now, my very first major JavaScript application, which was also an assignment, was also a Hangman game. We'll fire it up. You can see my man Alex from River City Ransom walking on into the Rise and Shine Cafe, ready to order some great food, listening to his favorite jam. It's one of my favorites too, but it might not be one of yours, so I'm going to go ahead and mute that for you. And then now that we're here, I can type in a letter, and when it's right, that letter's just going to pop up there. And if it's wrong, you'll see the letter still appears in the missed row here. But obviously, there's nothing to display up here. So you like some waffles, you like some pancakes. So you get it right, you move on, everything's great. If you miss too many times, you get a loss. Now, the reason they've assigned a similar project to us again is because the class has recently been taught about constructors, which is a function that makes JavaScript objects, and it lets a developer make a whole bunch of objects that have the same properties without all the same hassle. Now, this guy here already has a bunch of constructors in it already, and by this guy, I mean this program, not Alex. I don't know what he has inside of him, except for waffles and pancakes. But the reason this application has so many constructors is because the first programming language I tried to learn on my own was Ruby, which is all objects all the time. Everything is an object. It is so objective. Everything it says is factually true. It is so objective, they don't even have subjects. Don't get me started on predicates. In Ruby, predicates are also objects. It's bananas. But with all the objects, they need ways to group them together, and they have these things called classes. And since I figured JavaScript is also object-oriented, they must have something similar. So when I was writing this guy, I dug around a lot, and I found constructors, which I needed because of all these big ideas I had. Alex is made with a constructor, the server is, the restaurant is, because there's going to be all these different restaurants and playable characters and more than 7 things on the menu. It's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to show it to you. But for right now, let me show you this command line Hangman or hang person or whatever is most inclusive. I don't want you to feel like you can't get a hanging here. Everybody gets a hanging. It's for everyone. So anyway, there were some pretty specific criteria for this one on how we were supposed to use constructors to meet the assignment. So in this game, every letter is actually an object, and the constructor that makes the letter objects is right here in the letter.js file. And then you can see that gets exported and read by only one other file, which is the Word file, which itself builds the word object. So every word is an object filled with letters, which are also objects. And the letters have methods to check to see whether or not they're true or have been guessed yet or exactly what they are. And the word has methods to check to see whether or not everything in the word has been guessed or all that kind of stuff. So, and then it all gets called by index.js, which runs the show. So before we move on to actually running the program, let's take a look at what we need to hang with this Node word guess. So we'll check out the package JSON. Obviously, you'll need Node to run this program in Node, but you'll also need CLI color because we got a whole bunch of colors in here, beautiful, pretty colors that I want you to be able to see. And by a bunch, I do mean 2. And then, of course, we'll need Inquirer because I'm going to be asking some hard-hitting questions like, what's the next letter you're going to guess? And that's the only question. So now that we know all that, let's get it fired up over here in a terminal. We're going to use Node here because Node's the one running it. And then index.js, as I said, is what's running the program. So we've got here 5 spaces. Now, each one of these is generated by a different letter object that has, among its many values, whether or not it has been guessed. If it has not been guessed, it displays an underscore. If it has been guessed, it'll display a letter. So we'll see that in a minute. And then we've got our first question here, guesses. Okay, so I guess that's not a question. So I guess I use inquirer to ask 0 questions. I only give outraged commands. So I guess I'm a fascist? Anyway, guess a letter, citizen. Let's go with A, because vowels are great, and I don't have to buy them here. And so I type the letter, and then I hit enter. And behold, it is correct. Life is good. We can tell that it's correct because it's green, and that lets us know that our life has value and meaning and that we're loved by our parents. And then, of course, you can see that this letter has been guessed now. And so it shows us an A instead of stone-faced blank that we would come to expect. I suspect that there's more than one vowel here, so let's try E. All right, life is terrible. Life is bad. We've made nothing but terrible choices. I know that because of this bright red text and these 3 exclamation points. I can see that I have 9 guesses remaining. So that's the good news. So the bad news is that you're a failure and your parents don't love you anymore. But the good news is you have 9 more shots to get it right. And I should specify that these are misses. The A that we guessed before, that didn't count against us. We don't have 10 guesses in total. We can make up to 9 mistakes. So E was a bust. Let's try some other vowels. I, no. Also, life is terrible. O, beautiful, wonderful. The sky is blue again. So let's see if we've got some consonants in here. Wheel of Fortune has taught me that RSTLN are the most common. So let's try a T. Great. I'm going to guess that this word is total. Boom. You can see here, I've been declared a champion. I win everything. I'm the best in the world. And then it gives me a new word. Now, I don't know what this word is. Let's try A again. No. E. Yes. Good. I. No. O. Yes. U. No. Okay. So maybe some consonants. I'm not sure. None of those. I'm feeling a little constrained, though. I'm tired of being told what to do. I don't want to keep giving these letters. I don't want to keep obeying the fascist. Let's mix it up a little bit with an 8. Nothing happens. How about if I just hit enter? Nothing happens. You have to type only one character. It can not be a non-letter. You got to be a letter. Can be an uppercase letter. Can be an uppercase letter. Capital T is fine, except that we've guessed it already. That brings up a good point. Can't guess a letter you've already guessed. So I've guessed T, S, and M. Let's try capital R. Yes, R is in the word. Excellent. N. Awesome. I got a feeling that it's concern. Great. New word. Now, you might have noticed that I'm struggling a lot more with these than I was with the pancakes and the waffles of yesteryear. That's because Cuneo is ordering from a specific menu, and everything on that menu is a food item from that game. And also, I hand typed it into the program. But this one is getting words from somewhere else. I found a list of what is ostensibly the approximately 1,500 most used nouns in the English language. Behold them. And you've beheld them. And I don't know what all of them are. They are being pulled from this words.txt file by a read file command. And then one of them is being generated here. Now, I can see that this has 6 spaces in it, but I'm convinced that this word is. So I'm going to type a Z, no, E, yes, B, no, R, A, P, O, L, Q, X, C, U, I. I've lost, which is good because the only way out of Hangman is death. There's no other escape. And you can see that I got a game over, but it tells me how many I got correct, which kind of makes me feel better, except that, of course, everything is over. The only other way out, of course, besides death is Control-C. Anyway,